Hello, and welcome to the stream. It's good to see folks. And we're doing our first solo stream in a couple of weeks. Welcome to Charlie, Daphne, Omen, Luca. Hope you're doing well. If it's the start of your day, then I hope you have a good day. If it's near the end or the afternoon, then I hope it's been good so far. Good morning, Lay. Hello. Okay, I was gonna say, can anyone else hear? Because, yeah, okay, cool. Because I know we don't want to repeat of the meditation session where I was speaking for 10 minutes and I didn't realize that no one could hear me. Now, because I know how it goes, I'm gonna do that. So you're not gonna be the first one in the queue technically if you want to join the queue. Alright, let's look at some oracle cards for myself. I should know by now, yes. I should know by now how it goes. There we go. Amazing. Let's see what oracle cards I have. Hello, Hija. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing okay. Wow, the first card I got was Distraction, Siren. I also got Transformation, Erebos. And my last card is Face Your Fear. Alright, let's see. Distraction is the Siren. Yeah, that's pretty obvious about being distracted. Erebos is Transformation. I think these cards tell a story of their own. About focusing and not being distracted in order to find transformation, which can be a very positive thing. It does require stripping things away and also facing your fears in order to identify what needs to be released. But sometimes it's only when we face our fears that we are able to remove those distractions to be able to seek transformation, which I think is always a great thing. May not feel great always, but can be very helpful when it comes to wanting to advance. So some good reminders for myself, especially in a time where I'm doing a lot of expansion and study for myself, and a reminder to not distract myself all the way to the point of not being able to face my fears and seek that and actually embrace that transformation that I'm looking for. All right. we have Daphne up next. Let me know what you'd like a reading on, which deck you'd like me to use. If there's multiple decks you're thinking of, we will do a poll, and everyone can vote about which deck to use. Luckily, I have a D&D deck right here. Big think emote. Hello, Itzy. Welcome in. I was like, what's the star next to your name mean? It means you're a subscriber. The deck that I was just using for my reading is the Magic the Gathering Oracle deck. So this one here. Dionysus, Bacchic Lord. Did you have a specific question before I finish drawing these cards? Or did you want to just see whatever came through? All right. Well, our first card is the Seven of Intelligence. The equivalent is the Seven of Swords. And we have a figure here who is masked or wearing a helmet and a hood, sitting in a chair with a cane, which isn't really a sword, but, you know. What's coming through for this one, this card in particular, is the fact that what follows the Seven of Intelligence in this deck is the Eight of Intelligence, which is the Eight of Swords. And it's this idea that there is something that needs your attention, which you are well aware of, but it's coming up in this reading. Something that needs your attention to address before it becomes a web that you remain stuck in. And it's not stuck in because the web was built around you, but because you, like the Eight of Swords, have transformed it into a sort of self-restriction or self-restraint. It can be a difficult situation because the Seven of Intelligence asks you to unmask, which is something that you have, it's not new to you to hear. It's not a different, like, you've heard this before. And it can be difficult to ask for because of the fact that that is something you desire from your divinities as well, their honesty and their ability to come through in a very clear manner. If they're expecting that of you, then you should be able to expect it of them. Woman yelling at cat meme. And this very well works with the Devil card that we have here. Because yes, we do have the Devil. And it's really interesting because of the way that he has horns and of his like clawed hands, and he has a goblet of wine being handed out to you. And what this card sort of makes me think of when I look at it in the context of this reading is this part of his jacket here, which sort of makes me think of like a staircase. And it can really feel like you're climbing up a never-ending staircase with things at the moment. It can feel like you're having to fight against the tides, and like there's so many steps you don't know where it ends. Almost like it's like a game to whoever is hosting it, right? It can be tiring and you don't want to play the game. It's very interesting energy because of the fact that you're asking the same thing that they're asking of you, that Dionysus is asking of you. Yeah. It makes sense that you don't want to play the game. We have here the Page of Strength as well, which is a very interesting depiction. And the 9 of Charisma. I'm going to quickly check the book for these ones. Page of Strength. So Strength is the Wands, a Page of Wands. It takes energy to do something awesome. Go for it. Engage your free spirit and follow your passion. And the Knight of Charisma. Charisma being the Pentacles, I believe. Now the King of Charisma is reaping the fruits of your endeavors, enjoying abundance while not getting lost in acquiring. Interesting. How do these relate to the reading? There's something you want to say, something you want to do because of this situation. And you feel very driven for it, and it may feel like you're unsure if it's the right thing to do, or if it'll be a puzzle piece that fits into the situation, or if it will result in anything productive. Something to remember is that even if you get an impression of something being the right or wrong thing to do from certain spirits or deities and such, you still get a choice in something. And sometimes if there is only one thing that you can do yourself without others, so if it's something that you can do and at the very least it is you doing it, then you've got to go for it and do it and see how it pans out, because it's really feeling like a situation where you're pushing against each other and one has to like relent to something, but of course you do not want to relent in the way that makes it so this can keep happening. Okay, that's really funny. I got the 3 of Wisdom on the bottom, which is the 3 of Cups, and it's the card that reminds me most of Maenads of Dionysus. And behind that I have the 8 of Intelligence, which is the card I was talking about earlier. It feels very like I don't know if it's extreme. I don't want to say like it feels like an extreme situation. It just feels like there may be things working in extremes. Like we have the Devil here as well, and something like the 7 of Intelligence, but in the dynamic that we're talking about now. Knights of Wisdom, Knight of Cups. pages are usually about ideas and planning and a path being embarked, yet not making movement on it yet. And this is to say that your plan will be driven by passion and something that you feel really strongly about inside in your heart. Whereas we have the Knight of Wisdom, and the Wisdom is the Knight of Cups. Well, Wisdom is Cups. Which is even to say making movements based in emotion. And so when it comes to if there is any advice or any guidance for what to do in this situation, rather than being driven by the material, what you can see, what you can read, what people are telling you, what their expectations are, that's making you set your expectations, and rather than being set in intellect and mind and the element of air, you're more so moving in the elements of fire and water, which seem quite opposite, and quite clashing as well, which is sort of the energy we have in this as well. There's a bit of clashing going on. It's that in this situation, being driven by what your emotions are saying, your heart is saying, could actually be constructive as long as you are very clear and it's like there's a difference between doing something recklessly and doing something that is quite out there but not because of no reason. So if you're going to take an action for yourself to deal with the situation, rather than waiting for someone else to tell you something, whether that's spirits, God, or human, you can indulge in that without it being something that harms you or others around you. There's a way to do it. And there's a way to do it without playing into the game. Time to fight God. If there's anyone I would believe who could level up, like level this situation, level with him in order to get answers, it would be you. Like, from the way that you interact with him, the way, what I've heard, I can see I see the two of you standing like this, so like you're facing each other and I'm looking from the side, and it's like, despite how his like size / power / position may be bigger in some contexts, in this specific situation you are allowed to bring just as much of that space taken up to level with him, to be on the same level. Hello, Pocket Cat. Hope you're well. I don't know if the picture I'm thinking of is quite that clear. I'm not very good at describing it. It's like this defiance on both of your expressions as you look at each other, and it's not as playful, but it is very fierce and fiery and very like. You probably know what I mean when it's like he has a smirk on his face and he's kind of like a bit smug about it. Dang, what is that emoji, Pocket Cat? Looks scary. Devious. I'm doing well. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that gave you some insight on that all, because I did feel like it was quite, like there was quite a wall kind of, when I was starting the reading, it was sort of like he was quite stubborn in saying anything about it. And then it kind of carved out a bit more in terms of your priorities, but definitely in your court to deal with, which is it's difficult, but there are options. Also, Luca, let me know what you'd like a reading on and which deck you'd like me to use. And you're welcome, Daff, if I didn't say that. Sometimes I forget if I say things. When I actually have questions, it feels like there's a million of them. Oh no! He's like that, yeah, it's why I have to be careful what I ask him, because he will weasel out of things. Tricky, tricky god. He's like a genie. It's like when you make a wish to a genie, and then the genie just like twists it and does whatever else than the wish. A fairy. Ah, yes. He is like a fae. Ah, something you were gonna ask in the server. Interesting. I am interested to hear what it is. As a reminder to folks, if you're hanging out and haven't joined the queue, you can join the queue by using this command up here. There are a couple spots. I think I do, or maybe one. I think I put a limit on it just so like the queue wouldn't fill up all the way, but I think I'll adjust that queue limit to like 10 or something. So you can join the queue if you'd like. If you do want a second... Oh, my little guy changed in a way. Boba time. There you go. You're allowed to have coffee? Since when were you not allowed to have coffee? Did I just forget that you weren't allowed to have coffee? Oh yeah, as I was saying, you can claim viewer rewards for extra oracle card pulls. And then there is also, if you'd like to donate any amount, then you get a second reading. So those are some options for readings. Otherwise, if you're lurking, then thank you. I appreciate your lurking. Because of recovery. Ah, yes, because yes, I remember now. That makes sense. Well, that's good to have coffee again. I don't drink coffee myself, but people who like coffee like their coffee. Which deck would you like me to use, Luca? There are two Hecate decks. There's the Oracle of the Hecatean Path, and then there is the Ethereal Visions Tarot. It's poll time! Yes, we can! Itzy loves coffee, but when it has lots of caramel. Ooh. Caramel latte. Maybe. Which deck should I use for Luca's reading? Oracle, Ethereal Visions. Alright, we'll make it a 2-minute poll. I don't know if I actually set a limit to it, but you can redeem like at least 2 if you want, I guess. I don't really remember if I put a limit, but you can feel free to do like 2 and then we'll see how it goes because there are some people in the queue. Okay, we have 1 vote each for the Hecatean Oracle and Ethereal Visions so far. These are the 2 decks I am talking about. Because we're doing a reading with Hecate, Which angel deck would you like the pull from, Daph? Now we have 2 votes for each of the decks. The poll doesn't help if it's tied. But then if it does end up tied, then I'll just pull from both decks. Maybe. I mean, it'll be up to the... be up to the poll. I mean, I can do it right now because we have the poll going. So it's good timing. Exercise is key. But it's not just about literally going and exercising. Exercise is key can also be a card that talks about movement and being connected to your body in how you navigate things. Being present within your own body, and if that is something that you might need to work on, then that is what he's talking about. Otherwise, if you really do want to go do more exercise, that's what he's talking about. Bonus card, fresh air. So, I guess going outside for some exercise and air. Yep, that's what the doctor ordered. Alright, poll ended with 2 votes for each one. Guess we're doing both. That's what the poll says. Is there a path Hecate is trying to guide Luca down? Didn't you get Analia last time as well? I feel like you did. I think Hecate Analia is very significant for you. Are you open to sharing what in particular you're talking to your coworker about? Or if it was like... Sorry, maybe not that. It's sort of like, what was it that that indicated that pull to you? Because it could have been the topic, could have been the context, could have been just a thought. Yeah. Context would be good because it helps me frame the reading for you. I'll save these cards in case we use them for like some context or advice or anything. But these cards are very interesting, and we'll see what the context is. Also, I got a really cool thing recently. This is a sistrum. It's a percussion instrument that was often used in ancient Egypt, ancient Egyptian worship of the gods, and has been depicted in Greek art or statues. For example, the Greek statue of Isis has her holding a sistrum, and there is a source somewhere, I haven't seen it, that states sistrum, the sistra or sistrums, being related to Hecate in some way as well. But yeah, it's a ritual tool that is made of, this one's made of brass, and it has these little discs here, and when you like shake it, it doesn't really pick up on the mic, but it makes like a noise for ritual work. So that's my cool show and tell for this stream. I've been wanting one for a while, so I'm happy I got one. Yay! Alright, let's read this message. Your co-worker asked what you wanted to do with your degrees. You've been wanting to pursue your classics minor in grad school. We were talking about it and suddenly... Hecate. Ah. Yes, so the first card we have here is Unity. Hieros, which is the sacred fire, Unity. And I find this really interesting because it indicates to me that the path that she is guiding you on is a path that does involve workings with groups, and this idea of bringing people together for something. There's no specific path being denoted here, and I'll touch on that when we get to the next card, but I am seeing that along your path there is something to do with working with groups, facilitating groups, leading communities. And Hieros, the sacred fire, is about, of course, fire, light, warmth, guidance. We have here a figure wielding 2 torches with this group of people, and it's a really like bright scene. So it's this ability to be a bright light among people and shining a light on things. Hecate's torchbearer epithet covers so many different things, as I listed. This idea of warmth and guidance, this idea of being able to burn things in destructive manners, and being able to reveal truths and uncover things, unveil things. The second card you have is the cave, incubation. When this card comes up, a lot of the time it's indicated to mean that it's time to speak with her. Incubation can also reference this historical concept of sort of how, for example, with the Temple of Asclepios, they would go for incubations. People would go into the temple to sleep and to gain an oracle in their dreams from Asclepios or gain healing from him. And that was a unique practice of his cults. And so when I see the cave and incubation, it's this invitation to meet with her, to speak with her, and to seek her guidance directly. So this idea of incubating yourself in whatever way you do, whether that's meditation, astral travel, dreams, any method that you may want to try or already do, to seek answers from her, because this is telling me that she does have something to tell you. She does have answers to give you. But it is basically maybe on your part to incubate on this in a bit more of an active way. You state that these thoughts have been in your head, yes. What is the next step to do with them? Perhaps to bring them to her, even if they may originate from her. Bringing them to her can be quite helpful. I find Hecate and Alia coming up again to be very affirmative. It sort of tells me, yes, this is like correct. It kind of affirms this reading to you as someone who has had an interest in Alia and someone who has had this card a couple times. It also makes me think or reminds me of the conversation of how Enalia is quite an under-researched epithet. It is quite sparse in the information we have about Hecate and Nalia. And so rather than just encompassing this aspect of the sea with her, it also is this idea of embracing ideas or concepts we don't know a lot about and still seeking more of them, not just leaving them behind just because we don't know enough. And it's embodying the hidden aspects, not just because they're not publicized, but because we may not have as much information. And the thing with this as well, and another thing that reminds me of the cave and incubation, is that a lot of the time when we do advance in our practices with deities and spirits, and when we start to learn more, you actually start going beyond the books and what we know. And you start to learn more directly from the ones you commune with. And so that is kind of working into the whole incubation idea of going to her and seeing what comes up, because not everything will be written in a book, not everything will be written online, or you may find it or you may not. It can be difficult depending if someone wrote it on an obscure blog way back when, or if it's more upfront. But either way, sometimes the best way to seek information is from the source. And I think she can see this path where you're able to dive into things that you are curious about and not giving them up just because there's a lack of information, and therefore being able to share this with communities, not in a position of, well, I know more things or I know these secret things because of whatever, but being able to shine a light on different perspectives even. Also, hello Snorvy, welcome to the stream. I hope you are doing well. I am doing well, thank you. It's always nice to be doing readings for folks. Knight of Cups, following your heart. Movement, so kind of makes sense. Like, it's sort of like your heart is moved by the idea of studying in that way, studying Hecate. Oh, thank you. Queen of Swords, a card that represents Hecate as well. One about truth, intellect, honesty, communication. Thank you for the follow, Snorvy. Oh my god, so many cards. King of Pentacles. The Hermit. Ace of Swords. Yep. Go and have a chat with her. She's going to have all the answers you'll need. King of Pentacles being a provider. The Hermit, self-reflection and following the light even if you don't see the entire path ahead of you. And the Ace of Swords, open communication and an invitation, good news essentially being delivered to you. How does that all sound for you, Luca? I'm hydrating with my giant bottle. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I was like, again? She's back. Yummy water indeed. Stay hydrated, folks. Especially those who are in summertime or hot weather. thank you for trusting me with that question. It sounds like a really like it did feel very affirmative in the whole like academically driven or like research driven, especially with all I explained about the Inalia interpretation and this ability to be able to share information about her as a part of your pathway. Like that is a really cool thing to be able to do. It's something I really value as well, sharing information and bringing new perspectives to different epithets and history of hers. It's like this idea of being researched enough to be grounded in her history and cultural context, yet also being grounded in modern worship to be able to bring new things, new angles to it. And keep us updated as well about how you see everything moving and how you feel about things. And feel free to get more divination on the question too. Omen, you are on it, and I love that for you. I think that's great. Could you please let me know how to pronounce the name of his name? Oh, like boat. Lothar. Or Lothar. Lothar. Interesting. I would not have guessed that. But of course the letters have their way of being. Alright, let me actually look at this. He is a Norse god, which I assumed from how the name was written out. And with whatever deck, okay. Let me quickly put these cards away so they're not just out and about. Alright, let's get D&D Tarot out. So how I'm seeing him right now, he's a bit of a tall man. He's wearing a jacket. And he seems pretty put together. I don't really know how to describe the jacket. It's like a long sleeve jacket, and it's quite a long, like it's a long jacket as well. That goes up down to his knees. But it looks like a very sophisticated jacket. It's not like one you just, like a fur that you just thrown on. It's tailored. He also has a bit of facial hair in how I see him. The star. He has a lot of long jackets in your experience. Cool. Well, the star is a good starting card. Very hopeful card. And what's also coming through as well is like the idea of a North Star, a guiding star as well. So someone who is able to provide a bit of direction. And even if he may not be able to tell you like everything that's going in that direction, it's like this assurance that it's for your, like, it's not malicious. It's very much the energy of there's something really cool I want to show you if you wish to follow the star. Alright, so there's this energy as well with the 8 of Strength. This idea of going to new places, and it's not just physical places, and even not just like spiritual places if when it comes to the idea of, for example, astral travel, but new places in your who you are. So your experiences, things that even are not related only to your religious or spiritual practice, new ways of being and expressing yourself, and essentially moving out of your comfort zone, but in a way that you've been wanting. It's not like he's forcing you out of your comfort zone. It's this idea that there is something you want to do and something you want to see and something that you think he might be able to help with. And it's this affirmation that yes, let me actually read all these cards to be on the screen properly. This idea that yes, he does intend to show, like, bring you to new places in all the different ways that means. And it's also not a lonesome journey. It may be with other peers, other friends, maybe even with other like deities or spirits involved in your practice. It's something that is collaborative rather than individual. We also have here the 5 of Charisma. And 5 of Charisma is this idea about being able to see the help that is coming your way and seeing yourself as beyond the little, like, you're not just a little guy, so to say, just like as the saying goes. You are more than that. And in this practice with him and with others, you're not in a position where you're begging for scraps or begging for donations, like these, like, you know, the little coins. It's you're not at a point in the relationships of like your deities and your spirits and who's around you, your team, where you need to prove yourself or beg for anything. They are willing to give to you as long as you are willing to see yourself as someone who can fulfill that position, right? Someone who is worthy of being given to, someone who is worthy of being taken to places, of being shown new things, of trying new things out, and following the star that is presented to you. Not all journeys are about becoming that person. Some journeys are about starting as that person and using that identity and power within yourself to pursue things, right? So rather than it being an end goal of yours to emerge from this idea, it is the start of this new journey. Especially because here we have the 3 of Intelligence. This idea that you can take what has been dried up, what has been broken, what has essentially gone through death, and bring new life to it. even through all the hardships and even through everything else, you will be able to put what you desire into the earth and grow something new, something interesting, something strange. Hello DFX, and thank you Snorvy. This mic is the Yeti Blue mic, and I have a pop filter on it, so when I started streaming I did not have it, and a lot of my P's were popping, but now it should sound much smoother because I have had this for a little while. You've been called out? You're welcome. I'm really glad that it's helpful to hear. It makes sense because it seems like a really positive reading with a lot of assistance being offered to you, but not just assistance because you need assistance, like you're not in a good position. It's literally because you're ready to like pursue that next thing, whatever it is that he and others would like to take you to. I am doing well, DFX. How are you doing? Alright. Hija is next in the queue. If you're still here, let me know what you'd like a reading on and which deck you would like me to use. Not the best feeling. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Like someone drained your soul. Oh, wow. That's not good. Is that just today, or has that been going on for a little while? Oh, after a breakup. Today hit hard. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that you're going through that. It is very hard to go through a breakup, even the aftermath. And I hope that you have the supports around you to be able to get through this time. We'll give a few minutes to Hija to see if they are still here. I don't know if I can check if they are. They might be. They might be typing. Oops, okay. Now my little guy is drawing. In the meantime, while we're waiting for Hija to turn up, if anyone would like to claim a priority oracle card pull, then we can do that now. Hello there, Mellow Hug. Welcome to the stream. Alright, well, what we're going to do is... I'm not sure if he just here, so I'll move them down and we'll have... Is No Name still here? Do this. Charlie, we'll do you now. And we'll see if Hija comes back. So we'll just carry on with the queue until then. Charlie, are you there? Let us know if you are. Everyone's gone missing. Not everyone, but some of the people have gone missing. Alright. We'll get back to no name. Itzy. If you are here... Oh, there we go. I don't need to tag you, you're already here. Cool. Okay, let's see. Zoya. What a beautiful name. Hello, Mira. Hello, Moonflower. Daff, you've definitely gone missing. Well, you were here for your reading, so that's not gone missing. Itzy, do you have a preference in what deck you'd like me to use? And for your question, Snorvy, how long have you been doing tarot? I've been doing tarot for about 6 years. But I've been streaming it for only less than 6 months. Echoing? Why would I be echoing? Am I echoing for anyone else? A star-based tarot deck. This thing I have is this angel deck because it has kind of like stars in some of them and like moons and stuff. But that's not really, that's an angel deck if you want me to use it. But I don't think I have one that's star based. Yes. Cool. That's funny that you had 2 tabs open. It'll be a good explanation of why I'm echoing. Alright, a general reading from Zoya. Yes, this is the Dungeons and Dragons tarot deck, which I think you did get recently. You got like a different version. Because this is my box. It's a big box. Part of my mic stand. This is the last week that I'm going to be doing a stream in this place that I'm house sitting. So next week, it's going to look pretty similar, but I'm not going to have this anymore. I'm going to have my actual mic arm. Okay, very fitting Itzy. Your first card is actually the Fool, which makes a lot of sense considering your recent developments on your path in regards to embracing new things and going on a new journey, taking a leap of faith, and also being the master of your own path. Oh, we have the devil again. 2 major arcana, the Fool and the Devil. Take the Fool too literally. Oh. Well, the Fool's describing what you're already doing. The Devil is definitely about working on these ideas based on past experiences, expectations, and attachments you've had to certain things. So these preconceptions that you may have about this new way of doing in your practice that are based on expectations you built in different contexts. The Devil doesn't have to be a bad card. The Devil is often seen as the other side of the Lovers. They're 2 sides of a coin. And it's up to you to sort of see how you may step away from some unhealthy thought patterns or attachments or assumptions about yourself or what you need to do in order to embrace the other side of things. Yeah. So it is sort of like this idea of a potential to have a lot of happiness, goodness, and close connection in this new path of yours. And it's not like you have to completely abandon everything you knew. Like, that's not what's being asked of you. It's not saying for you to let go of like what you had, but to not do a disservice to this new part of your spirituality by not being open to new expectations and ideas being set. Oh, that's really cool. Oops, that was just me dropping cards. That's really nice. Four of Charisma and also the King of Intelligence. King of Intelligence definitely speaks to your situation and what I am gathering from this reading as well. This idea of combined, like, it's sort of like the coming together of 2 worlds is what I like to describe this card as, because as I've mentioned before in other streams, this card really reminds me of a combination of Poseidon and Zeus, of course from Pantheon, but it really is these two worlds coming together, these 2 powers, and for yourself as the querent, wielding 2 parts of yourself in a harmonious manner. And it may not necessarily be like 2 exactly or clear-cut halves or of anything, but the very essence of being able to provide a link between what you do. Things don't have to be completely separate, things don't have to be completely combined, but they can work harmoniously in a practice. And that is the beauty of it as well. The 4th, Charisma. You don't have to hold tightly to all the things that you know or that you want to do. You don't have to be sort of... Possessive isn't the right word, but it's like you don't have to bring too much attention to holding something so tightly so then it doesn't leave or doesn't go. Nothing's going to walk out of your spiritual practice or life just because of the past, just because you assumed something, just because, you know, of like little things. Like, they can feel like big things, but it's sort of like in the grand scheme of things, there are bigger things in the works. Like, as you said, Zoya was introduced to you a year ago. Now it seems like she's coming in more prevalently. Hecate was part of that. You found that webs and fate tie together a lot in different pantheons. Yes, true. Also really funny, we've got the Lovers on the bottom of the deck here, which sort of reflects this devil thing I was talking about earlier. So there's a lot of positive energy coming from Zoya for you in this path. She doesn't want you to hold too tightly to things, expectations and standards you're setting for yourself just because of things in the past, just because of different ideas of faith that you've had. 6 of Intelligence as well, so moving on from things, taking your learnings but not holding onto them too tightly or relying on them too much. yet you are still taking them with you. You don't have to be afraid of the new journey that the Fool is bringing because you are already doing it. And that shouldn't be scary, but it's not supposed to sound scary, but it is this idea that you are already doing it, like you're walking the path. Yeah. And I think it's much more common than we hear or think. This idea that certain gods actually do come into our lives to introduce us to other gods. Sometimes they do that. Sometimes they're only here for a brief time. And I think it's good if you are in good hands, passed from one to another. Hopefully that provided a good message for you, a good general reading. I mean, when I was ready to step into light, I could reach back out. Yeah, exactly. That is a very healthy way to look, to navigate and to look at it on either end, right? For the divinity and for yourself. It probably would be less appealing to approach a deity who is upset about taking too long. Deities have a lot of time. They've been around for a very long time, so I have a feeling that they tend to be a bit better in terms of that. Things are really tied together because of a shadow work with Leviathan, running from your own light, and then this all happens. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love the way that sometimes these things come together, and as you said, the webs and the fates tying together, that's just even more perfect with all of the metaphorical, spiritual, and even like actual things that are going on, the changes that are happening in your path. So I definitely think there is a great fit there. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for requesting that reading. It's very special to do a reading for this part of your practice, and with Zoya, who seems like a very beautiful and positive energy. Is she classified as a goddess? We got some new divinities in today's stream, which is fun. Slavic goddess, amazing. Depends what your specific question is, Snorvi. I do have some boundaries in terms of some stuff I don't read, but if you'd like to ask a specific question and let me know, then I can tell you if I'm able to read it for you. Otherwise, I can gently suggest other options. Her name is very, very pretty. I feel like it's very rare to come across deity names that start with Z. Or Z for Americans in the chat. She's the goddess of the stars, well as the sun and moon. She's in charge of closing the sun's gate every night and keeping the griffin trapped and bound to Ursa Major. She's the morning star, evening star, and midnight star. Wow. That is a resume to have. Snovi, you've had anxiety around being pregnant. Pregnancy, okay, I don't actually have that in my boundaries, but it's not something that actually it is. It's technically medical. I would not be able to read in regards to pregnancy. It's not something I'm comfortable or confident in. Is there anything else you would like me to read on? I'm sorry to hear that you've been anxious about that though. Read on what my guides have to say, like general ancestors. Oh yeah, I can do a guide reading. I will use this deck. It's the Messenger Oracle. And we'll see what message your spirit guides have for you. Yeah, Itzy, she sounds like a really cool goddess. Especially when we usually have separate deities for like sun, moon, and stars. It's cool that she embodies so many of those celestial aspects. Alright, a message for Snorvi from guides. That was me dropping the deck. Oh, the Kofi! No! We have very beautiful cards here. So your first part of your message is we are all connected, and there's this beautiful depiction of two dragons with a tree at the top and these animals intertwined, the owl, the butterfly, the wolf, and a woman at the bottom too. We are all connected, and it's a beautiful message, I think, especially when it comes to spirit guides. This idea that even though there may be this sort of like spiritual, physical separation between us, or at least what we perceive, even when it feels like they may be at a different point than us, they do care very deeply for us and are intertwined in our lives. And so your guides are intertwined in your lives, the ongoings of what's happening with you. And they want to be involved, they want to be connected, and they want to see positive things coming like for you. There's none of this idea of having to beg or having to do something in exchange. There's no transaction here. Your happiness is their happiness. Your fulfillment is their fulfillment. Share your thoughts. These cards are very pretty. Share your thoughts. Even though our guides, when we speak to our guides, it's a bit more general. We may not necessarily know every single one of our guides. We may not necessarily know the nature of all of them. It is still very possible to just call out to your guides, your spirit team, and share your thoughts. Share your anxieties, your worries, what you're thinking about, your ideas. There's no need to hide vulnerability. There's no need to fear that they'll judge you. They see you and they know you and they care deeply about you, where you can't really say anything that's going to, for example, make them leave or make them feel like, oh wow, why are we sort of like around this person, right? It's like they don't have the same material considerations as that. They're here for you. They want to hear you. They want to know what you're thinking. Don't be afraid to share your thoughts with them, because you never know the ways that they could help you out. Challenge your perception. With this beautiful angel here. Challenge your perception. Allow yourself to see things in different lights. Allow yourself to experiment. Allow yourself to go forward. To take the steps, to say things, to communicate in new ways. Your spirit team is, again, like they're very connected to you. That's of course why we have the connection card here. The we are all connected card. It's this way of like, if there is any spirit group of spirits that you're going to try new things out with, it's going to be them, your spirit guides, right? So don't be afraid of that as well. Challenge your perspective in terms of perception and what you can do and what you can see. And you never know as well, you may be receiving more than you realize. That's good. It's good that you cherish them, because they cherish you very deeply. And when they push you to try new things or see things in a different way, I'm sure you know they don't want to harm you, but they want to see you grow. Those are your messages, or your combined message. But the little bits of reminders and wisdom that they wanted to leave you with. I think it's a very nice reading. You say you're very excited. In her mythology, she's either three sisters or one person, but married to the sun deity or moon deity, or sometimes the Slavic thunder deity. Wow, that's cool. You're welcome, Snorvy. Thank you so much for hanging out in the stream so far, and if you stick around, then I'd be really grateful. Either way, thank you for trusting me with your reading, and I hope that you are able to figure out things in terms of your anxiety soon. Alright, DFX Hots, if you're still here, let me know, and let me know what you'd like a reading on. A few days wait. You're welcome. Kebabs. I don't think I can read on kebabs. Also, that's really weird, Noman, that you've had that problem already as well. I don't know why it would do that. I haven't heard anything about there being errors. So, not that I don't believe you. I'm just saying, like, I hope they fix that, or it doesn't become a huge issue. Oh, you got it to work. Amazing. What kind of readings you don't do? You can see it in my About section if you scroll down on the stream on my channel. It is at discretion as well. Oh, let me quickly mute. I opened Twitch. Okay, cool. If you hear a slight echo for like 2 seconds, that's because I opened my Twitch to look in my about section. I have a section that says readings I don't do. I don't typically read for love, relationships, or romance, at least for human relationships. Omen, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. That is very kind of you, and please feel free to queue again, as you get to have a second reading. Don't do past lives, don't do future telling, mind reading, legal, finance, medical crisis, as usual. About your inner soul. What do you mean by inner soul? Thanks for that, Omen. I do see your request here. Since you have had a reading, it means I won't be putting you to the top of the queue, but hopefully we'll get through to your reading again soon. Whereas if it was like the first one, you'd go to the top, if that makes sense. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, cool, thank you. Maybe what my guides have to tell me in this difficult time. Okay, sure. Do you have any preference for deck in particular, or do you want me to choose for you? Yes, okay, I shall choose. We'll go with our classic Rider-Waite. Alright, that was really quick. Your guides were on that. The first card that came out was the Chariot, and I like the Chariot card because it's often about willpower and determination, and them recognizing your ability to move forward, and to, for example, when you get knocked down, you get back up again. This idea that you are quite resilient, even if it may not feel like it at times, and them seeing you basically driving this carriage forward. They like to see your enthusiasm, they like to see your drive, they like to see you knowing that if you see a future forward, or when you see a future forward, that you're going to go for it, even if you don't know the exact details. They like that part, they like those qualities of you and who you are. These middle cards as well have a bit of acknowledgement for your situation. The Three of Swords, of course, being about this idea of heartbreak and betrayal, and this emotional pain as well. This almost inability to be able to speak something that you wish to say. There may be this lack of closure, or maybe not closure, but this inability to say something that you want to say, and having to hold it within yourself. And there's this impression as well that there are some things that you're carrying from this relationship, these interactions, this situation you're in, that is causing you to feel like you're even deceiving yourself in who you are. It may feel like you're a little bit lost on where you're going, lost in who you are, what you value now. what you're going to do. It can feel that way when there's a drastic change in our lives. Via a text. I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, it can feel like a lot of like unfinished business. It can feel like there are things you need to go back for. But one of the key things to remember here that your guides want you to know is that when this figure is walking, they're holding the swords by the blades, not by the handles. And one of the important things to remember is that sometimes when some things are out of your control, you're going to have to take the chariot, to take that stance, that authority in the situation, and you're going to have to let go of the blades. Because sometimes we are the ones who are holding onto the blades in situations where we can't change something or control something, and it's harming us, right? Of course, holding it not by the handles is going to do that. There is something more for you out there. There is movement in other places in your life, in what you value. The Knight of Wands is about passion, it's about growth. Then the Knight is usually about movements and going forward and having a plan. Your guides want you to know that this is a bright path forward. And even though there are these hardships and things that you've been holding on to because of this relationship, because of what you've been experiencing, that harm, if you're able to let it go, the harm to yourself, that blade that you're holding, if you're able to drop it and to stop essentially feeling like you're going to have to tiptoe around yourself even, you'll be able to come to your own path, your own wants, your own needs, your dreams, your desires, your growth, your fire, and figure out more about yourself. There's a lot of energy around here in regards to figuring out once again who you are and what you stand for. That is what they have to share with you. You're welcome, and I hope the very best for you. And your guides are surely there for you as well. Alright, let's try this again and see if Hija is here. And yeah, we'll take it from there. A crossroads reading is like when you are at a crossroads, so a bit of a point of transition or a place where you have many options to choose from, and you may need some guidance in making the decision. So that could be like drawing a few cards for each option, so like 2 options, choosing one, like some cards for each one to see which one may be more suitable. It could be getting some guidance in general on what to do. It could be kind of helping you through a point of transition is what I like to describe it as. And a crossroads is like you have a few roads you can go on, so it's about which one you might want to choose or be inclined towards. And you're welcome to ask any questions. You're welcome. let me check the queue. No. You can tip if you'd like to get another reading, and then I will lock the queue after that, so you can be the last reading of the night. Also, no name if you've come back yet. If you were away, let me know in the chat, because I had to move your position since you weren't here when your name was called, but see you're on Discord, so maybe you're here again. Alright, I'll give it another minute. Hey Moonflower, your turn will be soon. You're currently third on the queue. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate you very much. Genuinely. It is really nice to be able to get donations to support the readings that we do on here in the streams. Feel free to queue again. And yeah, we'll get to your reading soon, hopefully. Thank you. Alright, we'll move forward. Mellow Hug, let me know what you'd like a reading on. Oh, thank you. That's the second time I've been complimented on my avatar today. Okay, I can read for that. Let me know if there's any deck in particular you would like me to use. I do have a deck list. Let me just quickly send that decks. And while you choose, I'm going to have a drink of water. Okay, any I'm drawn to. I'll pick one then. Let me have some water first, because do a lot of yap, need water. And make sure to hydrate as well, folks, if you haven't recently. Okay, so Mellow, for your general guidance, would you like it like general? Or I can do a reading with deities as well. So if you want a reading with, if you're the same Mellow I was speaking with earlier, if you want a reading with Hecate, for example, I can do a reading with Hecate, or I could do a reading with any other deity as well, or, you know. But if you want like a general reading, then that is all good too. Just wanted to give you the option. All right. I'll give you a card from this oracle deck and then also the reading from her main deck. So the card we have from the oracle is Artemis, Independence. Because this deck has a few different gods in here as well. So she's come forward in this oracle card, which I think is interesting. Artemis is a deity who embodies this sort of like freedom, independence, as the card says, this wildness as well, of exploration, of hunting, of running through the woods with others with you and being free to do what you want and exploring things and trying new things out and not being held down by anything. Very indulgent energy that doesn't have to be isolated. So, you know, Artemis had her huntresses as well, even if she didn't have a particular consort of such. She is considered one of the virgin goddesses. And at the same time, it's this sort of ability to not be held down by anyone or not have to base what you do off of someone else. Yep, the Hierophant as well here. So the Hierophant can be about institutions, about tradition, about even this idea of the Hierophant holding the keys to spiritual realms. This idea that you're breaking away from... It's not tradition, like in the sense of like you're not practicing tradition, but this idea that you're allowing yourself to move past the threshold of logic or the material, what you see, what you know, what you learn, like what you've learnt already. Going beyond the institution, so to say, forming a practice of your own that can be guided by others, guided by research, history, cultural context, all very important things, and even finding structure in that. But I also feel as though it's a card like paired with the Artemis card, of this idea of not holding yourself, like basically not stopping yourself from being able to do the things that you want to do just because of these preconceptions about tradition is the way to describe that. She's actually one of my favorites, even though I've never done any deity work at all. Oh, that's really cool that she's come up then. We also have the Two of Swords here. The Two of Swords is sort of this idea that you have perhaps a few options, a choice to make. We have this woman here sitting with two swords. She's blindfolded. And again, it's this idea of not just using your physical sense of sight, so to say, to make your decision, but to look beyond that as well. What do you feel? What do you know inside? When you weigh the two options or the choice against each other, what does your intuition tell you? And what is the truth in you that you want to chase, right? The swords are about communication, they're about intellect, they are about truth, honesty. slicing things to cut away what doesn't serve you, but also using the sword as a guide to move towards a place that you want to be. The Two of Swords, when it comes up in a reading where you may have a decision to make, is the card that affirms trust your intuition. Because as much as we could say trust your intuition, oh well, that's basically like, that's the answer. It can be really hard sometimes to trust our intuition. And sometimes we end up thinking ourselves into a point where we think, is my intuition wrong? Is it a bad time to trust my intuition? Would it be something like, will this be a detriment rather than a help? Well, this is Hecate affirming that your intuition is actually something to trust in this time. Yeah, I can see that definitely as well. Again, of course, I always advocate for cultural, historical, and religious context to build a foundation. But I also think there's huge value in being able to see this path as one that you get to define as well. It's not just an institution that you're joining. It's not just one body of something. It is a living, breathing religion and spirituality that you can embrace and that you can explore. We'll get one more card here for you. That is not one card. That is also me dropping cards everywhere. Alright, we'll take them anyway because they're suitable. they're the ones that she wants you to know. The Queen of Swords is a card that represents her. She has many cards that I use to identify her, the Queen of Swords being one of them. And this one is, as mentioned with the swords, one about speaking the truth, speaking your heart, using your voice. Trust in her voice and trust in your own voice. The other cards, we have the Ace of Pentacles. A new path of study to pursue is what I'm gathering from this. The Pentacles can mean a variety of things: study, career, finances, material aspects of life. But definitely study is what's resonating with me in Ace of Pentacles. A new path of study. Strength, which I think is just a very nice affirmative card about your own ability to bring strength to what you do. You are a strong person. Just because you have things to learn doesn't mean you're not in a good position to embark on a journey, embark on this path, to pursue it. You have things to bring to this as well. And the Wheel of Fortune. The way things are moving is on purpose. You are being moved towards something that is for you. It is not an accident. It's not a fluke. Oh, the one card you fear the most. Interesting. This is not a fluke. What it is that you're coming across, it doesn't have to be so much about like fate or destiny or such. It's just this idea of the wheel is turning in your favor right now to bring you something, and it's up to you to take it and go with it. Because if you start this path by doubting yourself and being skeptical that this is the right thing for you, or thinking, am I here on accident? Did I just stumble across this? Is someone else meant to be in this position? It's going to be just worse off for you. So it's good to just accept what is coming your way, not just like accept the punches that you're receiving. It's more so there is change coming, and this change will lead to new pathways that are exciting, may make you nervous, but are exciting. It's up to you. Take the pathway that you are being given. And I say it's up to you in the sense of, like, you get a choice, yes. But also you can give yourself permission to take what you want. Resonates a lot with recent events. Things happened, look so crazy, like it's orchestrated, which makes so much sense. Yeah, we get surprised sometimes with how things are orchestrated. Yeah. Well, that's your reading. a few a few more cards than I was expecting, but if her card wants to say something, she wants to say something, and this is her message to you. Guidance for your journey going forward with her and in your spirituality. You're welcome. Thank you so much for requesting a reading, and I'm really happy that it resonated. Whenever you're ready, Moonflower, let me know what you'd like a reading on. To the tune of Animal Crossing, right? It's not safe for you to practice magic. I want to know how to let go of the trauma bond I have with it. Oh, interesting. Not safe for you to practice magic. Is there any deck in particular you'd like me to use, or any deity you'd like me to ask this question to? Hermes. Cool. Yes. Let's ask Hermes. I think that's a great idea. Hermes mentioned love that guy. So true. So true. Okay, let's ask Hermes about how to let go of this trauma bond you have with... Is it with magic, is what you're saying? Is the goal to be able to reach a state of being safe to practice magic, or what's the thinking here? To stop practicing it right now. Why is Steve's Lava Chicken Minecraft Loafy playing? Sorry, I was just like, this sounds really familiar. What is it from? Minecraft movie. Okay, so you want to be able to work through this bond so that you're able to not to stop, like so that by releasing this bond, you're able to not practice it until you're able to travel elsewhere where it's safe to practice it. Is that correct? Okay, got it. Give me a second. I'm just gonna have another drink of water. Water is good. Hydrate. Alright, let's do this MTG Oracle. You are your words. I think that's a very suitable card to come from Hermes, considering the fact that he is a god of speech and eloquence. But yes, you are your words is speaking about the power of words, the power of your voice in this matter. How do you let go of something that you don't want anymore? You speak it. You speak that you what you desire. Sometimes you desire to release something. How can you use your words through different multiple means to release this trauma bond that you have? And sometimes it's sort of like this idea of like speaking something into existence, and even this like even if you want to think about it this way, like less about like magic and more about when you say something out loud to others, to yourself, in appropriate situations, right? Like don't go around announcing it to everyone, but it's like you're materializing it by saying it, and you're holding yourself to it by speaking it. Even like this idea of like writing things down. This card isn't specifically like writing, but he's saying this concept of writing things down, even like on a calendar, goals, deadlines, timelines. He's saying those things. I don't know if you have a specific date, like when you know you're going to be traveling or going elsewhere. I don't think that in particular matters, but I think setting goals for yourself as well in working through this will help. I see a calendar and it's like you're marking the calendar and you're crossing the days off. It could also be this concept of like you mark today as like the last, like the day, like the start of this thing, It's like a self-challenge. Like you mark today as the start, and every day that you mark an X or cross or something on this calendar, it's like you actively releasing this bond. And it's like, even that's a bit of magic in itself, but it's a bit subtle. Like it's more subtle and safer. It's like you marking a calendar, right? Magic of the mind. Jace. Interesting considering the fact that we're talking about trauma bond with magic. Magic of the mind. As much as your mind may feel like it's surrendering to certain bonds or patterns or things that may hold you to something, you still have a lot of autonomy within your own thinking, and you have the ability to sort of break away from things by, yeah, it's like, I like how it's sort of forming so far, this idea of your voice, your words, combined with your mind, your thoughts, finding a way to bridge those in order to release this bond that you want to let go of. Something that is also another subtle like thing you can do is like visualizations of this bond being let go of, or being cut away, or being like falling away from yourself. Visualizations of like people can't see what you're visualizing, right? So you're laying in bed, you're sitting down in the chair, you're relaxing, you're resting your eyes. You can also, like, if you are a visual person, you can visualize things without closing your eyes. Like, you can have your eyes open and visualize things in your mind's eye, in your head, to be able to see things breaking away. And perhaps anytime this trauma bond comes up, if it's triggered or some sort, however it interacts with you, you can have that visualization of cutting away different strings rather than trying to cut away one giant thick rope. It could be a lot of thinner ropes, and each time you cut away at them, that one's poking my hand. Okay, one more card from Hermes on this. The warrior. This is you. You're the warrior. You've got this. You have the strength you need to get past this. You have the weaponry. You have the strategy. Trust in the strategy. The specific thing he's saying is don't rely on just like one method of doing it. If you stack multiple smaller methods, you'll find more success in that than trying to do it all at once with one big thing, right? So work on it day by day, little by little, with different techniques, different little things, and yeah, you'll find that you'll be able to break away from what you need to break away from. Yeah, that is your advice from Hermes in regards to your situation. You're welcome. Thank you for coming for a reading. We'll see if No Name's here again. Calling out to you, Charlie. No Name, if you're here for your reading. Ah, thank you. I love these vibes too. It's really nice to hang out with others and do readings and answer these different questions, interact with these different deities and spirits. So it's a nice time. And I'm glad that you're here for it and the others are here for it too. Oh, hang your moment. Here you go. Here's a Hanyu I prepared earlier. I saw her today. I went over to my house for board games. I head back next week from house sitting, so she won't have to miss me any longer. But yeah, she's so cute. Did you say big acne? Big acne right now? A big pimple. Oh, that's so sad. I didn't know cats could get pimples. Alright, Mira, if you're still here, we can do your reading now. Let me know if you're still here, please. Oh, yay, hello. What would you like a reading on? Choose a deck as well if you'd like. General deity forecast from your deities. Is it like deity forecast, like a specific type of forecast, or do you just mean a forecast from your deities about like the month ahead or something? Sorry, I am very bad at knowing what I forget what Latin forma means. I'm very bad at those words. So if you could just type in the chat exactly what you mean so I can have a clear idea of how to do it. Or what you would like, sorry. Then... when I said second. Oh yeah, so a forecast from your deities about the month ahead. Cool. Or like advice from your deities. Cool. Okay. Let's see. Actually, we use this deck. I don't know what the difference is when I feel like I want to use the D&D tarot versus the Rider Waite. I feel like there's this like storytelling element. Like I could do a storytelling thing with any tarot deck, but this one in particular has like this certain flavor of storytelling. Nice. That's awesome. Have you done much with the deck yet? I know you like just got it. You got the star as well. I even had the star before earlier. Now you have the star. Very hopeful outcomes for you. Oh. Queen of Wisdom. 10 of Charisma. These are very nice cards. Like, these are positive cards for you going forward from your deities. Do lotus flowers have any significance to you? Or your practice? Nope. Nice. I think that very much resonates with this idea of you expanding, blooming, cultivating yourself over this next season, these next few weeks. I asked about the lotuses because I actually didn't notice it on this card before, but there's lotuses on this Queen of Wisdom card, and I only realized, like, my attention was drawn to them in this reading, so I thought it was significant to bring up. The lotus is significant to quite a few cultures, but yes, this idea of blooming as well very much resonates with these cards. The idea of the star, hopeful things, diving into things that you've dipped your toe into a little, and as we have here an archer, drawing the bow really and shooting your shot. The Queen of Wisdom is an embodiment of this idea that you have a sort of like ground set for what you want based on emotions, but like beyond emotions, right? Emotions is more than that. It's a combination of the heart and mind. It's the driving force in feeling. It's being present. It's being knowledgeable of how you are experiencing the world around you, right? The element of water is important. Particularly for Poseidon as well, but water being a life force, how it flows through all of us, how liquid is an embodiment of so many things, our blood, of the water of life, of things that flow and fit into any container and isn't limited to remaining a solid object, really. And the Queen of Wisdom is a great reminder, or a great calling card, that you are someone who will be able to embody this really gracefully, someone who will be able to nurture this aspect of yourself in these coming weeks, in this coming season, allowing yourself to bloom into someone that isn't restrained by a certain shape or expectation or container. The same can be said for the 10 of Charisma, the 10 indicating an end of a cycle, and also the fulfillment of a cycle or a suit. We see here these trees in the background and also a tree planted here. You have planted a seed, you've planted a tree in your practice, in your work, in your life path, and you're going to see it grow and you're going to see it come into fruition. You're going to see how you are provided for and how you're supported by others and your deities around you. Sometimes when you've planted a seed, all you need to do is let the tree grow. So if you're in the business of worrying about things, how they're going to work out, how how will you know it's going to work out? Your deities want you to know it's going to work out, right? They want to affirm you of this. They want you to know that you can trust in the growing process. The trees that you have already grown in the past will bear fruits, and so will this tree that you have planted recently. While it may be a bit slower, maybe a bit behind, it doesn't mean it's, not worthy of the fruits being picked, right? So let your projects grow, let your passions grow, and let the deities around you cultivate it too, even if you can't see them cultivating it, and even if you don't know what they're doing to cultivate it. It's not really our job to know how they do it, just in this case to reap the rewards. And we have this Justice card. I love this depiction. It sort of feels like this call to action, call to service in a way, but very much call to action. So call to stand up for yourself, to speak, to do, to be practical, to engage, to immerse yourself. And Justice as well is a card that speaks to me in the sense of do things that are your truth, like self-justice, right? I love Justice as a card when it represents this idea of doing things that are just for you. Just as in just only for you, but also just as in fair for you. Don't do things because you think others expect that of you. Don't do things because you think it's the right thing to do based on other people's systems, but do it because you know what you want and you're going to go for it. That is your reading. Looking very positive, lots of good outcomes. Don't be afraid to follow the stars. Don't be afraid to embrace the flow of life. And yeah, let things grow as they do. You're welcome. Thank you for asking me for a reading once again. And I wish you the best of luck with all of the good things coming towards you. Alright, Omen, I do see your request here. Do you have a specific deck you'd like me to use? If not, I'll probably use the D&D Tarot again, because the Norse gods like the D&D Tarot. You can DM it to me if you want. If you want to just write it out now and send it to me. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Also should drink a sip of water in a second, because water is good. Everyone hydrate, please. All right, let's get some advice for you on this. Okay then. 3 cards just instantly came out. Page of Wisdom. Knight of Wisdom. And Judgment. This is a very practical message. It's like, especially because wisdom is the cups. In relation to your inquiry, that seems quite fitting. And I feel like it's a very straightforward answer, like a very blunt answer, because of the way that it's going from the page to the knight to judgment. This idea of page, feel through the emotions, feel through the situation, allow yourself to process, allow yourself to, like, if you need to just unravel in a moment, in a night, then do that and allow yourself to do that. I'm unsure if that's something you've already done, but at least from what's coming through in the cards is this idea of, rather than trying to hold it in, allow yourself to let go of that for a little bit, a night, an hour, whatever time you can and is safe for you. And just like voice or write or some way, like remove it from just within you. Like don't just think about it, because if you think about it, it can feel a bit ungrounded. Let all the possibilities that are going through your mind, let all of the different thoughts or the different concerns, the worries, the hopes you have, like let them all out to somewhere, maybe to someone, to something, a journal, voice recording, deity, spirits, in prayer, in hymn, in however you can. Don't restrict yourself to something. Like don't say, I'm only going to talk about these things, I'm only going to bring up these things, I'm only going to say this. Try to do it in a way that allows you to feel like you're not going to be judged for how you are speaking, what you're saying, what you're worried about. Because what I'm seeing next, which is a bit funny, is like you're going to like let it all pour out, let it see the lay of the land, get it all out there, and then it'll be time to take action on it. It's sort of like spiraling thoughts don't serve any purpose. Like there's a difference between being anxious and processing feelings of that, and then there's the ruminating, right? So when we do it in an unproductive, in a vague sense, it's like thinking of it over and over and over again with no bound, like no boundary, no goal, no action to it. Whereas he's suggesting here, let it all out in one dump, right? Like go at it in processing and feeling and thinking. And then if you're able to clear all of that out of your system, and it may not be like actually out of your system entirely because of it may be an active situation, but it's sort of like as you've released it all, he suggests that then is the point that you'll gain some clarity in that quiet afterwards to find some action to take, some movement to guide this situation. And he is definitely suggesting that there is wisdom in how you articulate how you're feeling, not in the sense of being like very sophisticated, very put together and focused, but even hearing yourself talk about it or hearing your own thoughts and then making connections and then drawing conclusions in that way. That's how you're going to find movement. Judgment is not just a card as well about judging yourself. So as I said, don't feel like anyone's going to judge you for what you need to go through and process. Everyone has their times of needing to just let it flow through as you are. But Judgment is also a card of rising too. It's the card of, as we see here, like walking through the bright door into a new place and being confident of that and being ready to move forward into a new space. It's a reassurance that you are being carried as well. So if we look at the imagery here, he's emerging from this angel. This angel has his hands out and the person is physically like actually coming out of the chest area, the heart of this angel. It's sort of this like subtle reminder that you're not alone and that whoever is behind you, whoever is carrying you, cares very deeply for your situation and who you are, yet acknowledges your autonomy in the situation and all you have to bring in what you're doing, right? And it's like someone who doesn't support you by coddling you or being there out of like pity or anything like that, but someone who's there because they know that you're capable of many great things and they want to be there for you in uplifting you in that. But also they see a path, a future for you where you are able to handle this and they trust that you can. You have the tools for it, the knowledge, the skills, the time, the space. You'll be able to find it if you don't already feel like you have it. But no matter what, they've got you, they're holding you, they're behind you, they're like the vehicle, you're the driver, right? The vehicle doesn't go anywhere without the driver. The driver can't drive if there's no vehicle. So that's sort of the guidance that's coming through for that situation for you. Oh wow, that's really good. I'm happy that the reading's been able to help. And you're welcome for the reading. It makes me glad to know that you think you know how to handle the situation. So that is amazing. And I hope for the very best for you going forward because of the situation that you're going through. You're welcome. Alright, Daph, you're our lucky last. It is you, yes. Let me know what you'd like a reading on. Alright. Not D&D. I actually forgot our conversation about how to pronounce his name. So Fanny's is probably how I'm gonna be saying it. But if you want me to say it in a different way, just let me know. Let me just clear up some of these decks that I have out so I can consider which deck to use for him. deliberately pronounce it wrong. Let's go classic right away. When his energy comes through for me, it's like this bluish grey. Like a very neutral blue. So bluish grey is correct. Very rounded, like an oval energy. I don't particularly use shapes for describing energy, but maybe it's the whole concept about the egg, like the egg of creation. That's kind of why maybe that's coming through, because it looks like a bluish greyish egg. Did you see that card flip out? It did like a somersault. Ow. I hit the cards against my nail. Didn't like me commenting on the somersault. That was a joke. I'm sure the somersault was fine. Okay. Your first card. 5 of Swords. Interesting. 5 of Swords, Page of Swords, Death, and Knight of Cups. There's a story being told here that relates to your situation at the moment. And it's really weird. Like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird because, like, when you're a diviner, you're not necessarily like giving advice like from your own self. And so, like, I'm having this feeling of like, I don't agree. Okay. It's not like there's a right or wrong. It's like, I find the suggestions that Dionysus and Fanny's are making really interesting. Because he's suggesting that there's even this distance, yes, distance, but even this conscious choice to wait for them to come to you on this. Like, there's literally 2 people in the background here, and there's one person at the front holding the swords, and it's like the 2 swords down here are like waiting for these 2 guys to pick it up. And then what are they going to do? Are they going to carry it? Are they just going to hold it? You're going to keep it? Or are they going to wield it against the person? And it's sort of like, what are your expectations of what might happen if they're the ones who come forward first in this situation, right? If he's the one that makes the first move. Which I find very interesting, because what I see suggested here is that he actually wants you to initiate something. And perhaps even if you have initiated a conversation already, he wants to see it in like this sort of fresh perspective. The page is usually like an earlier point in the journey. This idea that you are making new plans on a new path, a new opportunity being presented. It's like as if he's presenting an opportunity to you for something through this situation. And he wants you to take, like, it's being handed to you. And whether or not you are aware that it is being handed to you, he would like you to take it. To not wait for someone else to come to you to explain themselves, as much as it may feel like they should do that. There's this thing thing that's coming through when it comes to the death card, he's not calling you a force of death, but he's calling you a force that is like the energy of this card. You are someone who can be unrelenting, who will not stop at anyone, who will keep going. And no matter who is in your path, you will find a way to rid of what it is that you think it is time to get rid of, and allow the space and room for new creation, for dawn and sunshine and, you know, a sunrise to come forth. And he knows of this energy in you, this ability to just persevere and move forward with a mission and a purpose. And he wants to see that from you now. He wants to see you, well, it's kind of like leave destruction in your wake, but it's a bit strange. It's not like destroy everything. And it's not destroy in the sense of get rid of this, like everything, right? It's in the sense of, if you're looking for an answer, if you're looking for truth, if you're looking for clarity, don't wait for someone else to make the path for you. Carve that path out in every step you take, in every stride you take towards them, right? Like, you are the one on the horse who can forge that path for yourself and find clarity through that. I feel like, you had this earlier. The Knight of Cups is the Knight of Wisdom, and you had the Knight of Wisdom in the other reading too. And that was talking about, I think it was, because I remember seeing it right here in the middle, and it was talking about taking action led by your heart and your emotions. And once again, it's coming up here too. But I think as well, because it's at the end of the reading, it's sort of an implication as well that you will find clarity on this situation, on this inquiry, as you move forward and as you take these steps that it seems the two of them are tag teaming, in the sense of like saying, we want you to do this, even though as much as you're saying, well, actually, I'm waiting for you to do this. Bit of a frustrating situation, but very much them wanting you to use this as an opportunity to stand your ground, to ask for something clearly with your whole chest in a way that will get the answer you want, and that you will not stop at a vague or incomplete or fragmented answer from them. That when you ask for an answer, that they are expected to give you it. But yeah, very interesting. Very like instructional things that they've given us in the readings today about like what they want to see from you, which I get this feeling like it can feel a bit weird, because it's like they're asking for a lot for a situation where they should be giving you something. And I guess that's the point, that they want you to be strongly situated and confident on your horse, like in the death card, to be able to demand what it is that you are looking for. That's your reading for today. Your second reading with Fanny's. Guess I'm fighting two gods. Fighting God, the sequel. The second. The Reckoning. But yeah. They're ready to see like what you're going to bring to them, right? They're ready to see the battle you bring to them. Which I guess is asking for a lot, in my opinion. That's my opinion, but I don't know. Maybe they know something. Maybe they don't. All you can do is try to find out. Alright. Well, it is 1:11 a.m. for me. So I'm probably going to head to sleep very shortly. It is asking for a lot. Yes, I'm just chilling with Raph instead. Yeah, chill with Raph instead for a little bit. Thank you, Omen. Yeah, hopefully you can figure some things out in the situation, Daph. And I say don't try to do it all at once right now, but definitely see it as a possible course of action that doesn't have to rely on anyone else telling you anything. But also, like, seek answers too. Like, don't be afraid to ask others for assistance in this to get answers too, right? Like, maybe that's part of it. Maybe part of it is being able to ask people and go to them for this assistance. Interpret it how you might. And in the meantime, enjoy your time with Raph. Thank you for the well wishes for sleepy time. And have a good day, everyone, as well. We're gonna look for someone to raid. Alright, let's see. Same category. Who's streaming tarot at the moment? AC. And we have Geeking Goddess as well. Let's do Ace of Spades. Gasp! Lay's in that stream. I see them in the chat. That's right. Alright, let's start the raid. Thank you again, everyone who's tuned in today. And we'll see each other next time as well.